Hello everyone, I am Nivesh from CSC Core Department. My registration number is 21 BCE 5100, and in this presentation I am going to explain on the topic application of context-free grammar in natural language processing, and let's get started. So what is natural language processing? NLP refers to the branch of computer science and specifically the branch of AI concerned with giving computers the ability to understand text and spoken words in much the same way as human beings can. So basically it is training the computer to understand sentences and understand and behave like the human being. NLP is the field of computer science and artificial intelligence that deals with the interaction between computers and human language. NLP combines computation logistics, rule-based modeling of human language with statistical machine learning and deep learning models. Together, these technologies enable computers to process human language in text or voice data and understand complete with the speaker or writer's intent and sentiment. So, it is trying to make the computer feel the same way as human can and advancing the current technology to high level. Several NLP tasks break down human text and voice data in ways that help the computer make sense of what it's ingesting. Some of these tasks include the following. So let's see some examples. Speech recognition, also called speech to text, is the task of reliably converting voice data into text data. The best example is that whenever we say something to Google Assistant and it will convert that to text and display us. Co-reference resolution is the task of identifying if and when two words refer to the same entity. For example, if we say the first sentence as Mary is going to her home and the second sentence says she is hungry, and the computer should know that Mary and she is the same person. Sentiment analysis attempts to extract subjective qualities, attitudes, emotions, sarcasm, confusion, suspicion from text. So whenever we say I'm sad to Google Assistant and it will reply as if we need some jokes or something, and it will understand our feelings with the words. So it is called sentiment analysis. One of the key tools used in NLP is context-free grammar. This presentation will explore the use of CFG in NLP. And CFG is called as context-free grammar in short form, and NLP is natural language processing. So before getting into CFG, let us understand what Chomsky hierarchy is all about. So in Chomsky hierarchy, the grammar is divided into four parts and the four categories. The first one is the type 0 languages or type 0 grammars or unrestricted grammars. So it is recognized by Turing machines. The rule for it is x produce y, where x and y are any string of terminals and non-terminals. It means x and y can be a combination of terminals and non-terminals. Context sensitive grammar. It is the second one and it is a type 1 grammar. It is accepted by linear bound automata and the rule for it is AXB produce AYB, where X is a non-terminal and ABY are any string of terminals and non-terminals, and it should be kept in mind that Y must be non-empty. The third one is context-free grammars, and it is our topic and it can be accepted by push-on automata. The rule for it is X produce Y, where X is a non-terminal and Y is any string of terminals and non-terminals. And the type 3 grammar is regular grammar accepted by finite automata, and the rule for it is X produce AY, and we should keep in mind that capital letters refers to non-terminals and small letters refer to terminals. Here X, Y are single non-terminals and A is string of terminals, and Y might be missing or Y might be present also. Let us enter into context-free grammars. What are context-free grammars? Context-free grammars, short form CFG, is a formal grammar that describes the structure of a language. It consists of a set of production rules that generate a set of strings or sentences that belongs to the language. The rules are expressed in terms of symbols which represent categories of words, phrases, and sentences. In simple words, if a grammar that can be represented by push-on automata is called context-free grammars. And it should be kept in mind that push-on automata is a combination of finite automata and memory, which is in form of stack. Whenever a grammar is given, we need to keep in mind that we need to simplify that grammar. So we can simplify context-free grammar by elimination of useless symbols, elimination of null production, and elimination of units productions. We are not going to discuss this in deep in this presentation because that is not our aim of the presentation. We can write CFG in many normal forms, out of which CNF, Chomsky normal form, and Grayback normal form are the two important normal forms we should keep in mind. CNF, the non-terminals can produce non-terminal or non-terminal can produce a terminal. So this is a form of CNF. And in GNF, a non-terminal can produce a terminal and A, which means alpha, or a non-terminal can produce terminal. In this A, that is alpha, is the combination of any number of non-terminals. So we will learn how to convert a grammar to a Chomsky normal form. It is essential to know this whenever we learn about CFG. First, we should make S non-recursive. S is the starting symbol of the grammar. Second, we should eliminate all epsilon, that is the null production, except the one in S, if there is any. Third, we should eliminate all chain rules. Fourth, we should remove useless symbols. Useless symbols are the symbols which are not used in any production. So let us see an example how to convert a grammar to a Chomsky normal form. So in the given question, D is not used anywhere, and hence it's an useless symbol, so it is removed. We substitute A and B in S, and we have S produce AS or null production. As A and B both are null production, it is AB equal to a null production. So as we have null production already in S, so it is overwritten and we have only one null production. Now we need to bring to the Chomsky normal form. So we introduce another non-terminal S1 which produce A. We also assign S which produce A. So the final converted grammar is S produce S1S and S produce A, S1 produce A. In this way, we bring a grammar to a Chomsky normal form. So this is the form of a context-free grammar. So in this, T is set of terminals and N is set of non-terminals. For NLP, we usually distinguish out a set P, N of pre-terminals, which always rewrite as terminals. S is the starting symbol and it will be one of the non-terminals. R is rules of production of the form X produce Y, where X is a non-terminal and Y is a sequence of terminals and non-terminals. It can be empty too. A grammar G generates a language L in this. So this is one of the example of context-free grammar. In this, G is the grammar and T is the terminals and N is a non-terminals and S is the starting symbol and R here are the rules for this grammar. So we can see about application of grammar rewrite rules. In this slide, we see left hand side rules and the right hand side there are group of terminals and non-terminal mixture. And in the right hand side, we are starting with two non-terminals NP and VP and we are finding the production for it in the left hand side, and at last we are bringing to a group of terminals. It forms a sentence. By backtracking this, we can bring to a grammar if a sentence is given. So in this way it is applied in NLP. Let us see what is parsing. We want to run the grammar backwards to find the structure. Parsing can be viewed as a search problem. We search through the legal rewritings of the grammar. We want to find all structures matching an input string of words for the moment. So basically, A is all about matching with patterns and recognizing the patterns and giving the output by previous results. We can do this using bottom-up or top-down parsing. The distinction is independent of depth first versus breadth first. Depth first is starting from a starting symbol. We are going deep into the last terminal, and breadth first is searching row wise in each branch. Doing this, we build a search tree which is different from the parse tree. Let us see what are recognizers and what are parsers. Recognizer. A recognizer is a program for which a given grammar and a given sentence returns yes if the sentence is accepted by the grammar and no otherwise. Basically, it is checking the grammar and returns yes if the sentence is accepted or no if it is not accepted. Whereas parser, in addition to doing the work of a recognizer, also returns a set of parse trees for the string. Parser functions are derived from rules of a grammar. So not only accepting that string, it also gives the rule for the string by drawing a tree for it. In recognizer, the question we can ask is this input syntactically valid? And in the parser, we can ask the question, is the input valid? And if it is, what is the structure of it? So the both will give their answers to the respective questions. Parse tree. A parse tree or parsing tree or derivation tree or concrete syntax tree is an ordered rooted tree that represents the syntactic structure of a string according to some context-free grammar. It is a diagrammatic representation of parsed structure of a sentence or string. It can be viewed like this, where we start with a non-terminal and the end part or the root part should be a terminal. Parse trees are usually constructed based on either the constituency relation of constituency grammars or the dependency relation of dependency grammars. Parse tree may be generated for sentences in natural language. So basically, it's a tree which is representing a grammar. So let us see an example for parse. So the rules are given here, and the sample string is the man reads this book. And while drawing a parse tree, we start with yes, and we are giving production as non-terminals. At last, we find the terminals being entered, and it forms the man read this book when we read from left to right. So this is an example for how to form a parse tree if a grammar is given and a sample string is given to check. So let us see what is top-down parsing and bottom-up parsing. Top-down parsing. A top-down parser starts with a list of constituents to be built. It rewrites the goals in the goal list by matching one against the LHS of the grammar rules and expanding it with the RHS, attempting to match the sentence to be rewritten. So it is basically we have a non-terminal starting and we go from LHS to RHS and form a tree, and it is called top-down parsing. If a goal can be rewritten in several ways, then there is a choice of which rule to apply. It can use depth first or breadth first search. Backtracking can be used here because if a same production have 2 or 3 RHS and the sample string have any one of these RHS and we choose the wrong one, we need to backtrack and choose the other to form the correct string. So this is the example of top-down parsing, and in this book that flight is a sample string and the rules are given. We are starting from yes and we are going to RHS and we are finding the productions for each non-terminal, and at last we have book that flight in the roots of the tree and it forms the string. Now we are going to see about bottom-up parsing. The initial goal list of a bottom-up parser is the string to be parsed. If a sequence in the goal list matches the RHS of a rule, then this sequence may be replaced by the LHS of the rule. So we are traveling from RHS to the LHS. Parsing is finished when the goal list contains just a starting symbol. So whenever we reach the starting symbol, the parsing gets finished. If the RHS of several rules match the goal list, then there is a choice of which rule to apply. So same like top-down parsing, here also we can use the backtracking if wrong terminal is matched with a string. Can use depth first search or breadth first search and goal ordering. The standard presentation is as shift reduce parsing. We will see about shift reduce parsing in the upcoming slides. Shift reduce parser. Start with the sentence to be parsed is an input buffer. A shift action corresponds to pushing the next input symbol from the buffer onto the stack. A reduce action occurs when we have a rules RHS on the top of the stack. To perform the reduction, we pop the rules RHS off the stack and replace it with the terminal on the LHS of the corresponding rule. When either shift or reduce is possible, choose one arbitrarily. If you end up with only the start symbol of the stack, then success, you have achieved that symbol. If you don't and you cannot and no shift or reduce actions are possible, we need to backtrack and find another way to do this. So we can see this example in the next slide. So in this example, the sample string is book that flight. So we are pushing each word in the stack and we are shifting and reducing, and at last we are finding the starting symbol yes. So we are matching with the sample string. So now let us enter into the main topic of this presentation. How is context-free grammar used in natural language processing? CFG is used in NLP for a variety of tasks, including sentence parsing, language generation, and machine translation. Let us see each one in the upcoming slides. So, why it is necessary to use CFG in NLP? What are the advantages of using CFG in NLP? CFG provides a formal and systematic way to describe the structure of a language, which makes it easier to develop algorithms for parsing, generation, and other NLP tasks. You can also generate syntactically and semantically correct sentences, which is important for applications like machine translation and text-to-speech synthesis. The first application we are going to see is semantic parsing. Semantic parsing is the task of mapping natural language sentences to structured representations like logical forms or semantic graphs. It can be seen in this picture. CFG plays a crucial role in this task as it provides a way to parse the input sentence into a syntactic tree, which can then be transformed into logical form using semantic rules. Several techniques have been developed for semantic parsing with CFG, including chart-based parsing, semantic unification, and semantic role labeling. These are a few techniques for semantic parsing. The second application is using context-free grammar in machine translation. Machine translation is like normal language translation. We give an input in one language and the output is produced in other language. So in both source and target, we define the rules and the input sentence is parsed in the source language and then translated into the target language using the rules. The next application we are going to see is text generation. CFG can be used to generate text in a variety of applications like text summarization, dialogue systems, and creative thinking. One approach is to use a probabilistic CFG where rules are associated with the probabilities, and the model generates text by selecting the most probable sequence of rules that matches a set of constraints. Other CFG-based models include tree-to-sequence models, which generate text from a syntactic tree, and neural language models, which combine CFG with neural networks. So basically, it finds the most probable word and it fits into the sentences and matches the sentence if it is correct or wrong with the predefined rules. It is called text generation. The next application is speech recognition. It is a task of converting speech into text. So we give many inputs to the machine so that whenever we give another input, it will match with the already given inputs using CFG and it gives the more accurate answer. The next application is text classification. It is a task of assigning categories or labels to text data. For example, as shown in this figure, if you give a group set of inputs, it will categorize it into art, business, culture, and entertainment according to the already given inputs to the machine. So this is called machine learning. There are also some limitations of using context-free grammar in NLP, such as difficulty in leading with context and ambiguity and inability to capture certain aspects of natural language like idiomatic expressions and sarcasms. These things are not common and they cannot be predefined to the machine, as this involves much more technology or it involves advanced form of grammar to explain to the machine. So, as a conclusion, we define AI and machine learning as training to a machine by giving predefined inputs so that it can match the best probable input for the sample input. For this, context-free grammar is a powerful tool for describing the structure of natural language and it has many applications in NLP. While it has some limitations, ongoing research in CFG and NLP promises to address these limitations and improve the accuracy and efficiency of parsing, generation, and other NLP tasks. As AI and ML are booming technologies on this era, it will show some improvement in future. As we continue to develop more sophisticated CFG models, we will be better equipped to analyze and understand the complexities of human language. I hope this presentation will be useful and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.